Hold on.
I don't have any experience.
Tell us what happened.
I wanted to know about how you felt about if you felt discriminated against when you were in the military at that point in time.
No.
No?
Mm-mm. There was quite a few Mexican Americans in the battalion that I was in,
So
but there were a few gabachos that were they tried to be like real macho people, but they didn't last very long.
and then also just even the army, most Chicanos went into the army because that's where that's the front line of any war. And so we know historically that Chicano men were overrepresented on the front line in like Vietnam. Um, so like when we think about even discrimination, that's one of those facts that we can look at. But in terms of your experience in your troop, you had a camaraderie. You were able to feel
Yes, because it was a lot like well, basic training. You go through a lot to go through basic training. You do all sorts of different things, and you learn to be a man there. So once you get to be in that stage, then you're a little tougher than the other person.
How about other parts of your life? Did you experience discrimination?
No, I have never. Maybe because I've always been by myself. I do not try to be with gabachos or any other type of people. But I believe it's only because of my education. I still consider myself a smart person, but not like my brother. But see, I can be a store shopper or a store owner because the way they used to do it back in the day, anybody could open a store in their front room. All it needed to be was stocked, and then all you had to do was do the books.
And how long were you? Was it the army?
Mm-hmm.
How long were you in there?
It
Enlisted.
sounded like 100 years.
It felt like it, huh?
Yeah. No, it was only like about a year and a half.
Well, I always felt I was discriminated because if we were in town and we'd walk on the sidewalk and the Anglos would come, you'd have to move aside and let them pass by. Or if you went into the theater, you couldn't sit where they were sitting. So that's how I felt.
And the movie theater in Monte Vista was a small thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and you could tell where the Mexicans were and where the gringos. I mean, very segregated, very segregated. But it was like they didn't have a balcony, at the theater. It's not like when the African Americans, they would have to sit in the balcony. We probably would have to too, but we didn't have a balcony.
They did have one.
Did they have one?
I remember.
Remember as you went in, the stairs were right to the.
Oh,
And did people sit up there?
Yeah,
the gringos.
Was it the gringos that sat up there?
yeah, because all we had was a right-hand part of the big room in the left.
Uh-huh.
And the other gabachos would sit in the center, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this too, because to go along with that, like you said, you had to step away or cross the street when a gringo was walking down. But historically, we had been part of the valley before they even showed up. was when did that whole thing change? Do you all know when it came to be where like you went from basically the people living there for as long as you can to the point where now you were kind of like immigrants in your own nation?
That happened when I think I was still real young, like a little kid. But me and my sister would be walking, and and if we didn't move, they'd stand right there in front of you. So we'd have to move.
Did you
Another-
guys feel it?
Another thing about that is I think it's because we had no respect.
Mm.
You know, the Gavachos didn't have any respect, but we were showing respect to move to a side.
So that brings me to my question. Through all that time in your life, growing up, and having to endure all those things that you guys were enduring, did you guys have to band together and form a clica?
Uh, the way I recall growing up, we hardly ever interacted with the white community. Hardly ever interacted with the white community. Our interactions were with ourselves, our Latino community, our Chicano community. You had 3 barrios in Montevista: El Pozo, Sunnyside, 3 barrios: el Sunnyside, La Riata, y La Placita de los Negros. You had 4 barrios in Montevista, and that's where the Latinos hung out. Okay, and most of those particular barrios didn't have running water, didn't have paved streets, didn't have any of that stuff. The Gavachos lived on the
Other side.
other side, where they had pavements, they had sidewalks, they had all of this stuff. Okay, they had running water. We didn't have any of that. Okay, so but we always kind of hung out with each other. Now, in terms of rivalries, if you want to maybe get there, it was between us. We had rivalries with Rateños, with the kids from La Riata. Mostly those 2, Poseños and Rateños. Not too much with the people from Sunnyside or from La Placita de los Negros. They were kind of,
And the Poseños were nothing but us.
and there were only like about 10 of us. 10 of us.
All cousins.
You know how that changed? I got in a fight with one of the toughest guys in La Riata.
Yeah.
And that's when we started going into that barrio,
Yeah, who was the guy?
El Sardo.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, he was a bully.
Let's finish this part of the story and then we'll take a break. But tell us about the fight.
Okay, well, there in Montevista, they had a skating rink. We were out there skating, and the Rateños were kind of hitting our skates to make us fall. So finally, I got tired, and I went and I got the guy. We took up our roller skates and we went outside. We fought for about a half hour.
Wow.
He was left-handed, and he kept hitting me on the left shoulder with his punches. So my guard started falling. So finally, what I thought to do was, when I seen the punch coming, just move sideways. My punch missed me. So finally, we both got tired of fighting. So we ended up friends.
Did you hug each other after the fight?
No, but
Respect.
then all the Poseños and the Rateños were like a clique.
Oh,
How many was in their clique?
Oh, there was a lot of
So that you only acquired 10 of you guys?
When we go to Montevista, I'll take you to La Riata
You showed me.
and El Pozo. El Pozo had like about 15 houses.
Yep.
La Riata has like about 100 houses. Okay. So yeah,
It's paved down.
yeah. Now that
I have one
Everything's
more
paved
question.
over there now.
How old were you when you got your placa?
My what?
Your placa.
Oh, that was about 16.
And who did it for you?
It was like a Chico clinic. That's when we got this and this.
Do you have a pocket?
Can see it.